Truth Unveiled here, and today I would like to go over with you the cloning agenda as well as synthetic human genomes that has been going on because lately this has been getting a lot of attention and I would like to address it. But I'm here at the New York Times and it says scientists talk privately about creating a synthetic human genome. Now, while these scientists are not actually creating clones or cloning humans as they claim, there is something much more even going on and there's something even deeper going on. But it goes on to say the scientists are now contemplating the fabrication of a human genome, meaning they would use chemicals to manufacture all the DNA contained in human chromosomes. The prospect is spurring both intrigue and concern in the life sciences community because it might be possible, such as through cloning, to use a synthetic genome to create human beings without biological parents. While the project is still in the idea phase, at least that's what they want us to believe, and also involves efforts to improve DNA synthesis in general. It was discussed at a closed-door meeting on Tuesday, so nearly 2 weeks ago, at the Harvard Medical School in Boston. The nearly 150 attendees were told not to contact the news media or to post on Twitter during the meeting. Organizers said the project would have a big scientific payoff and would be a follow-up to the original Human Genome Project, which was aimed at reading the sequence of the 3 billion chemical letters in the DNA blueprint of human life. The new project, by contrast, would involve not reading, but rather writing the human genome, synthesizing all 3 billion units from chemicals. But such an attempt would raise numerous ethical issues. Could scientists create humans with certain kinds of traits, perhaps people born and bred to be soldiers like New World Order soldiers? Or might it be possible to make copies of specific people? Sounds like cloning to me. And not only that, but they know darn well that cloning has been going on even before then. And we're going to talk about that more in a second. But it goes on to say, would it be okay, for example, to sequence and then synthesize Einstein's genome? Quote, Drew Indy, a bioengineer at Stanford, and Lori Zolov, a bioethicist at Northwestern University, wrote in an essay criticizing the proposed project. If so, how many Einstein genomes should be made and installed in cells, and who would get to make them? Dr. Indy, though invited, said he deliberately did not attend the meeting at Harvard because it was not being open to enough people and was not giving enough thought to the ethical implications of the work. George Church, a professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School and an organizer of the proposed project, said there had been a misunderstanding. The project was not aimed at creating people, just cells, and would not be restricted to human genomes, he said. Rather, it would aim to improve the ability to synthesize DNA in general, which could be applied to various animals, plants, and microbes. Sounds like cloning to me. The article then goes on to talk about some of the implications that this will have and the type of issues that this will spark in both the scientific and the ethical community, and whether or not this is a question of ethics. But rather, this video is going to focus more so on cloning and the bigger picture and why they're even telling you this stuff to begin with. Now, I'm here at Fox News, our favorite, and it says Harvard's secret meeting on synthetic human genome fuels debate. And by the way, I'm being sarcastic, but it says a prominent Stanford scientist has denounced the secret meeting of 150 scientists at Harvard this week to discuss creating a synthetic human genome, or essentially constructing human life from scratch with chemicals, the San Jose Mercury News reports. And then the scientist Drew Indy and Northwestern University bioethicist Lori Zoloff said the moral implications of human genome synthesis are such that discussion should not occur in closed rooms, the report reported on Friday. But the bigger question that we should be thinking about is, what are they getting us ready for, and what are they conditioning us for? Because what are they talking about? Human cloning within 10 years. Scientists in secret talks to copy DNA. Scientists are secretly plotting to clone humans within a decade, and this comes from the Express report itself. Now, why is this so important, and why am I even talking about this, is because you need to see the bigger agenda behind all this, because they know darn well that, and even celebrities have admitted that cloning is a real thing, and that it's not the first time that they've been cloning, but they've been cloning for a long time. And when I say cloning, yes, I mean cloning human beings, but there's a bigger, more nefarious agenda behind all this that they're not telling you. See, they're getting you mentally and conditioned conditioned for all of this stuff so that when things do start hitting the fan, you're already mentally ready and prepared for it subconsciously and subliminally. But what they're not telling you is all the truth behind all this, because some of these scientists even know that cloning goes on behind closed doors, and just who is responsible behind all the cloning. Oh, but they don't want you to know that. Oh, but you're going to find out in just a minute. But before I take you to some more of the cloning articles and before I expose to you the real agenda ahead, I wanted to turn your attention to this too that was reported from NPR and treatments, and it says in search for cures, scientists create embryos that are both animal and human. Now there are two things that are wrong with this statement in general. First of all, when it says in search for cures, we know darn well that what they have found the cures to the diseases. Yes, newsflash, they have found the cure for cancer. They found the cure for AIDS. They found the cure to all of these so-called diseases. They've been found the cure a long, long time ago. But many of the scientists that have found the cures, and doctors and those who are in the medical field, have been killed because they did not want to go through the plan of the New World Order and the Illuminati for stealing and taking their ideas. Not only that, but we know darn well that diseases are man-made and manufactured by man in order to create more of problems, problem reaction solution. Because what do? They cause the diseases through these chemtrails and through other means, and then they want you to get vaccinated through the Bill Gates agenda and all these things, and take pills and medications and medicines that do not help you but make you worse in order to make you sicker, when they know darn well that natural remedies and herbs are the way to go. But they will not advertise that. They will not tell you that. I wonder why that is. And then the second part, of course, is when it says scientists create embryos that are both animal and human. Hello, that is talking about chimerism. What do you think they're getting ready for? But it goes on to say that a handful of scientists around the US are trying to do something that some people find disturbing: make embryos that are part human, part animal. And if you have not seen my chimerism video, I highly recommend you do, because that is exactly what they're conditioning us and getting us ready for. But it says the researchers hope these embryos, known as chimeras, which I just talked about, could eventually help save the lives of people with a wide range of diseases. Why would they need chimeras to do that when they've already found the cures, but they're just hiding the cures from us because they know hospitals don't make money off of these cures that they have found? And by the way, many of these hospitals, if not 99.9% of them, are funded by Freemasons, and that is a known fact. Go look it up. But it goes on to say that one way would be to use chimera embryos to create better animal models to study how human diseases happen and how they progress, because they want you to think that, oh, it's a good thing if we do this. Oh, it's a real good thing if we take animals and make them part animal, part human. No, there is nothing good about that. But let's keep going. Perhaps the boldest hope is to create farm animals that have human organs that could be transplanted into terminally ill patients. But some scientists and bioethicists worry the creation of these interspecies embryos crosses the line. Quote, "You're getting into unsettling ground that I think is damaging to our sense of humanity," says Stuart Newman, a professor of cell biology and anatomy at New York Medical College. The experiments are so sensitive that the National Institute of Health, or the NIH, has imposed a moratorium on funding them while officials explore the ethical issues that they raise. Nevertheless, a small number of researchers are pursuing the work with alternative funding. They hope the results will persuade the NIH to lift the moratorium. We're not trying to make a chimera just because we want to see some kind of monstrous creature, says Pablo Ross, a reproductive biologist at the University of California, Davis. We're doing this for a biomedical purpose, and that's the agenda that they're going to keep feeding us. You know, they're going to keep telling us that, oh, we're just doing it for medical purposes. Oh, we're just doing it for medicinal purposes, so that's what makes it okay. No, there's nothing okay about this, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, as well as the bigger agenda. Because when you start looking at the bigger picture and the bigger agenda, then you start to understand exactly what they're getting us ready for and what they're mentally conditioning us for come the New World Order. Because remember, they don't just do this stuff because they feel like it. There is a bigger agenda behind everything, and I hope you are seeing that for what it really is. But it says the day Ross opened his lab to me, a surgical team was anesthetizing an adult female pig so surgeons could make an incision to get access to its uterus. Ross then rushed over with a special syringe filled with chimera embryos. He injected 25 embryos into each side of the animal's uterus. The procedure took about an hour. He repeated the process on a second pig. Every time Ross does this, he then waits a few weeks to allow the embryos to develop to their 28th day, a time when primitive structures such as organs start to form. He then retrieves the chimeric embryos to dissect them so he can see what the human stem cells are doing inside. He examines whether the human stem cells have started to form a pancreas and whether they have begun making any other types of tissues. And of course, the uncertainty of what this makes is raising concern, and the possibilities of what it could make is raising concerns. It might have some human type needs. We really don't know. But I'll tell you what they do know is that they know the bigger agenda, because remember, they're getting ready for something, because it even says another possibility is that these animals could give birth to some kind of part human, part pig creature. Oh, just like your government is giving birth to the New World Order? Is it starting to make sense? I hope so. Because the agenda goes much deeper than you think. And I'm here at the Independent, and this was reported back in 2009, but it says fertility expert, quote, I can clone a human being. Controversial doctor film creating embryos before injecting them into wombs of women wanting clone babies. And what are they getting us ready for? I'm telling you, this agenda goes much deeper than you think. And yes, for all you skeptics out there, yes, it is true. They have been cloning long before this. Celebrities have even admitted to cloning and the existence of cloning centers. You can look it up, and everything that goes along with cloning and how they clone, because it's a very nefarious agenda indeed. And what they do is that they take these celebrities into cloning centers and they either kill them off or they make a clone of them and they torture them and do other very horrible things. I'm not making this up. You can go do the research on your own. And you can also, I highly recommend that you watch my cloning centers video, which I'm going to link the link below for, so that you can see the bigger agenda behind all this, so that you can see exactly what they're doing and just who is behind all this. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and that's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm here at Instagram, and I'm here at Nicki Minaj's Instagram, and you may be wondering, why am I at her Instagram page? Why am I even showing you this picture right now? Because look at what she says. Nicki Minaj says Stephanie, because who is Stephanie? That is Nicki Minaj's clone, and Nicki Minaj has even talked about cloning and has been out about cloning and the cloning centers. I'm not making that up. You can please watch my videos on more on this to learn more on cloning and the existence of cloning centers, because not only has Nicki Minaj come out with this, but so has B.O.B., Tila Tequila, and Donald Marshall. I highly recommend you do your research on this stuff before just tossing it out the window, because this is a serious, real nefarious agenda that's not getting a lot of heat and it's not getting a lot of talk. Why? Because they're trying to keep it a secret any way they can. And it's time that you wake up to truth and see exactly what they're getting ready for and see the bigger plans. I'm going to show you a montage of celebrities who are even admitting cloning to you subliminally, but you just think it's entertainment. It's time to wake up now. But what does Nicki Minaj say in one of her tweets? She says, rescue me. What do you think she needs rescuing from? All of the cloning that's been going on and the torture that goes with it. Because I'm telling you, these celebrities, when they're cloned, they get tortured like never before. And who knows what they do to the original celebrity. And yes, this includes children as well. So all of those child stars that you see, they are cloned as well, or if they're not cloned, they know of the cloning centers and they are tortured like never before. But you can see Nicki Minaj also, what is she saying? Rescue me, rescue me. Why is she saying that? We see Chris Brown subliminally showing us with what? Different parts of him, or different people versions of him. And then this one is very telling from Miley Cyrus. As you can see, it says JB or MC. Who do you think this is? And it keeps going from there. But as you can see, Miley Cyrus also once again posts it again, and it says what? MC or JB? Could they be clones? Are they trying to show you something? Are celebrities trying to subliminally show you these things because they want to get out and because they cannot tell you the secrets that I'm telling you today? Is that what they're trying to show you? Is that what they're trying to tell you? Are they telling you that they're actual clones? It looks like it. And then once again, we have a picture here of Miley Cyrus compared to Justin Bieber. Which one is which? I will let you decide on your own. But I'm telling you, folks, the cloning agenda is real. Cloning itself is real. It's nothing new. They've been doing this a long time, and they do this underground behind closed doors with the parasites and the V-rolls and the lizards and the demons themselves. I'm not making that up. If you would like to learn more, please watch my Cloning Center's video, because I'm telling you, this stuff needs to be exposed. It's time to expose all evil. Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, and please wake up to this stuff if you're not already awakened. But this is Truth Unveiled here. Shalom.